This is Wednesday, they call it midweek, and what can we say? We're grateful for the gift of life. This is Caroline News, and of course, you're on to the morning call. We're live in Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I'm William Mofwebe. What a day to be alive, as they say. I am not the only one alive. Incidentally, Moreno Haniel is also a life full of health and vitality. Moreno, as always, it's a delight to have you. You were MIA yesterday. You want to talk to our viewers what you were up to? Were you in this country, by the way, all through yesterday?
Oh, I am in this country. Okay, I wish I was in this country. I am in this country. I was under the weather, the Qatar and everything that has been holding everyone back and forth.
And yes, you couldn't extricate yourself from cold water now. Okay.
The weather is hot and cold at the same time.
And they say old habits die hard. Good to see you.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, our viewers. We're glad to have you here this morning. And we are going to be sharing a very exciting 1.5 hours with you. You'll be so excited you're here. Thank you for joining us.
I think that's what they call some brilliant value proposition. So if I were any other person watching right now, I'd like to stay here for the next 90 or so minutes. But it's good we're here this morning, especially given that we're in the election week for Osun State. Just about 48 hours ago, we're told that sensitive materials that arrived the states, starting from Osogbo. Of course, we know how these things work. They start disseminating, distributing, dispersing, and what have you. INEC, by that singular action, apparently showing that, look, we have never been more prepared for this election. But again, the question is, isn't there much more to election preparation than just bringing or supplying non-sensitive materials, I should say? Because as of today, Wednesday, it needs to have 2 days in between until the election day proper. But meanwhile, there has been a lot of fighting on the ground amongst politicians. 1 minute is the Accord Party, the next is the APC, and then you have those who are arguing back and forth as to whether other parties, whether the ADC, the NDC, or the Labour Party do stand a chance at all.
Well, the question has gone all round. Is there no other party vying for that position? Vying for that position besides?
Why aren't we hearing so much about that?
Yes, besides the APC and the Accord Party, and a lot of back and forth. But the INEC has said it promises to be a very interesting and a very transparent event. Let me call it event.
Of course, that's what it is.
So many back and forth. Davido coming up, to support his uncle. Adeleke, the governor, is there. Back and forth. I watched this interview when he was saying, I should teach them how to dance. They are jealous of me because they don't know how to dance.
and again, the man says, look, my dancing has nothing to do with my performance as a governor. My dancing does not have any, if you like, negative impacts on my ability to perform my duty as the chief executive of Osun State. But in Africa, we want to see a governor perhaps who is all up in suits, face very grimaced, what else? Speaking all the grammar and all of those formal things that people do. You see, we are not all wired the same way. That's number one. Number two, you also need to look at the peculiarities around the governor, the state where he has the privilege of service, as I like to call it, the kind of people who have elected him to serve them. So you're not going to look at that governor, judge him the same way you judge the governor of Delta State, for example, the governor of Abia State, the governor of Sokoto, or the governor of Cross River State. So we need to understand all of that. But then again, there's something we don't understand. The fact that politicians will look for anything and indeed everything to fight you, especially as it has to do with politics. And interestingly, we're hearing that most of these gentlemen, they are friends at the end of the day. But again, partisanship, political interests would always define alignments and realignments, especially on the eve of an election such as we have in Osun State. But then again, we're going to see more of this drama and all of these actors on the stage as we inch closer to the 2027 general election. And what that does tell Nigerians is to say that, look, you've got to brace up. Whatever you are going to see in Osun in the next, 72 hours, is just some sort of prelude to 2027. So pay attention now. This is not the time to lose focus.
And the security forces are doing a lot of work too, deploying so many of their personnel to Osun State. But it brings down the questions. If if we have all these personnels going to Osun State within those few days,
right?
What is the country going to be holding on to as per security personnel?
You know, incidentally, the Nigerian Civil Security and Civil Defense Code, as the NSCDC says, that it is deploying over 10,000.
Yeah,
we're hearing about 10,251 of them, and in just one
state.
Yeah, paramilitary, as it were, all right, to one state, one election, one day election, an event of a couple of hours, right? And they were asking, how about the police? Of course, we understand the EFCC will be on the ground, the DSS will be on the ground, and most times, as we have seen with the election, so you see that there's also a deployment of a significant amount of the military, especially the army, all right? So it raises, again, like you mentioned, the question of, hold on a second, are we not over-investing? There's nothing wrong in investing in an election. In every democracy across the world, governments invest in elections, especially from an institutional standpoint, whether you say it's INEC or you say it's, well, the security agencies themselves. But the question is, are we not going overboard with this one? Because if we are paying this much attention to security as it has to do with an off-grid election in one state, how much attention are we paying to these existential threats that Nigeria is grappling with every day in the name of insecurity? Just yesterday, I was saying on the program that a time there was when Benue State was the food basket of the nation. In practice, we could see the fruits of that. We could see the tangibility, so to say, of that basket and whatever it contained. But today, do we still have a basket, let alone food in it? So why are we not bringing that same energy, as Gen Zs will say, that we are plowing into election security, into our overall security as a country? Must we be so security conscious because there's an election in one part of the country? Because if you're doing this for just Osun State, how much more would you be doing when it comes to the general election cycle?
That has been the question on many people's lips, you know. So, because right now it seems Katsina, Kebbi are having, besides Borno, are having the, you know, at that peak.
Right.
I don't know if they've gotten to
banditry.
That peak. You know, banditry is so within those few hours, because when you send personnel, they won't go that particular day.
Right.
They will go maybe a day or two before that. Now, within that period of time, it seems we are not, but estimatedly could escalate in those areas and maybe even go into other areas too.
That's right.
You know, and as you asked, for instance, Benue, the food basket, Nigeria used to be known for agriculture. We still have the land.
Right.
We still have the resources to do that. That's the human capacity to do that. Then what happens? Like you said, why don't you use the same energy? Because of all this banditry. Because we have so many personnel. But now they talk about there are no weapons, they don't have enough training. So I think, true, as you said, we should put in the same energy that we put into politics. Because for the past 2 weeks or so, all we've been talking about is Osun, just one state.
Right.
Osun State. Energy has been going in there, both human.
A lot of it.
A lot of it has been going in, you know. So I think when we talk about diversification, we've been talking about on Monday, the government has been talking about diversification. I think it's high time we look into that diversification properly now.
Right.
You know, practically, I think.
Very interesting. You know, one time I spoke with a professor, okay, he's now a professor of economics, but then he was basically a senior lecturer at a federal university. And in 2015, I was working on a special report on the state of the Nigerian economy. And I asked him, when we say we are diversifying, because then, of course, the Buhari government was big. This was at the twilight of 2015, was big on let's diversify the economy, let's gradually but steadily, with focus, move away from oil dependency. So we can look at things like agriculture, we can look at things like solid minerals, we can look at tech, we can look at this service sector, we can look at real estate, blah, 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 and all of that. Manufacturing, yes, the real sector, say. And he asked a simple question. He said, if you are diversifying, is it not only commonsensical, even if you are not a genius of economics, to understand that there's something called model? What model has Nigeria adopted if you say you are diversifying away from oil, right? We're seeing what Qatar has done, for example. We're seeing what the United Arab Emirates has done and continues to do. We're seeing China, we're seeing Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia. I mean, just name them, even up to countries like Vietnam. And then you come to Brazil. And South Africa is taking the lead as well. Today, Nigeria, that was a couple of years ago, maybe a little over a decade ago, the largest, the biggest economy on the continent of Africa, is struggling, or if you like, it's swinging between 4 and 5, right? So how do we plummet in that ranking? We need to ask ourselves the real questions. But the challenge most times is we are not able to look ourselves in the eye to say, hold on a second, where did we miss it? How do we backtrack or do some sort of what they call reverse engineering, right? We need to do all of that. What did China do to even get to where it is? Even though we say, okay, well, we can't become China overnight. It was very simple, some very hardline policies. Those policies did bite for a while, but did they pay off after some 5 decades? They did. So in the midst of all of that, amongst other factors, you're looking at long-term thinking, or what they call long-term projection. But most times in Africa, the countries, the leadership are more immersed in the quick fixes. 2 minutes instant passports, 2 minutes instant noodles, 2 minutes everything, right? So we are too myopic about these things most times, I'm sorry to say, because you must be able to have your eye on the long short. If we continue to depend on oil, what will life be like for the 6-year-old of today in the next 24 years? Which means that 6-year-old of today would have been 30 years. What will life be like for them? Incidentally, most of the people who are leading the country, or if you like, ruling the country today, are not likely going to be around, or they are going to be very aged. All right. So we need to think for the future. Just yesterday, for example, on the final note, we featured a news story that talked about UNICEF urging Nigerian government to say, look, you have to decentralize birth registration. You are a country of well over 200 million people. You have to rethink how you do or go about birth registration. We live in a country where population numbers are just random. One person wakes up on whatever side of bed and says, Nigeria is 260 million. No, we disagree. Nigeria is 225. No. We're changing our minds. It's now 240 million. The question is, what are the parameters by which we determine our population? As of today, if you ask me for what I've read, for what I know, most institutions in Nigeria, outside of Nigeria, largely depend on data coming from the World Bank, from the IMF, from the AFDB, to say this is what our population is. So what is the National Bureau of Statistics, the NBS, telling us about what the figure stands at in terms of our population? Again, the last time we had census in Nigeria was in 2006. It's been 2 decades down the line. Just before the late former President Buhari left office, there had been frantic efforts to say, let's recount, so to say. Some billions had gone into that. Midway, we said, no, it was too close to electioneering. Of course, 2023 election. Why don't we hold on after election? We settle down, get our acts together, and hit the road running with census. But today, it's been 3 years and counting. Nobody's talking census. Of course, election is upon us. President Bola Tinubu is not even, that's it's not one of the 1,000 problems that he has on his mind right now. So we need to ask ourselves, are we going to be a serious country or not?
There are so many questions to be asked, from diversification to census,
Right.
I think the thing is, policies made by one government, another government wants to come and trash those policies.
Policies of assault.
Yes, because I remember this diversification was top notch during Obasanjo's era.
That was even back in the day.
Yes, census era, and the census thing was, so another government came in Yar'Adua, and it was, okay, we have some other things. Those ones are down. Let's
prioritize. Yes. We have to deal with the militants in the Niger Delta.
Then Goodluck came in, and the list, it became down. Then now another government takes over, and all these things that were supposed to be, like you said, in China, it was very long time process, and it had to be followed. Had to be cautiously followed by every government that came in.
Right.
Unlike, it's not the same thing with Nigeria. Everyone wants to come with his own agenda. Remember the 7-point agenda?
Well, I think the number of the agenda is dropping gradually. Last we checked, we even had a governor in this country that said he had just one agenda. I can't remember what that agenda was, but what I do remember very vividly is that he spent 8 years. I think he left the agenda in a government house.
Even the one.
Yes, he left it behind.
The biggest agenda we have now is insecurity,
right?
Inflation.
If you can't deal with that, I'm afraid, I'm not so sure what else you're achieving on behalf of the Nigerian people. If you cannot tackle insecurity, at least to a very large extent, again, it is where politicians have to be very circumspect in terms of their messaging, and I mean, more importantly, their messaging, not just the message. I think politicians are too engrossed with the message. They forget that it's the messaging that drives the message. For example, President Tinubu is on record to have said that, look, I'm not the one who created insecurity. In other words, I met it here. So I will only do the most, the best, the furthest that I can. So you guys can't come here and break my neck over insecurity. I didn't create it. You see, while it may be well-intentioned, while it may be well-meaning in terms of how, I mean, what he wanted to say, what he wanted Nigerians to hear or understand or come to appreciate, the delivery was below par, right? Because at the end of the day, people are going to interpret it to mean that, oh, what you're saying is you're not responsible for dealing or addressing insecurity. And then you see, of course, the media handlers of the president, the likes of Mr. Sondadare, Mr. Boala, the likes of Uncle Bayo Nanuga are going to, I mean, fly off the handle and say, look, no, that's not what the president meant. But truth is, whatever the president has said originally is already in town, right? So these gentlemen are coming late. We're saying this to say that, look, once you take over, or I mean, once you come into office, public office, your work has started. And that's why, whether you, I mean, for whatever it's worth, people still appreciate President Bola Tinubu for saying right from the get-go that, look, nobody should show me pity. I don't deserve, I mean, I'm not asking for pity. I'm not oblivious of the enormity of work that's in front of me, the work that is cut out for me, because I knew already long beforehand what I was going into before I even jumped in the ring and then eventually winning the presidency. So the president, from all indications, is not ignorant of the work that is called out for him. But what we expect as a country is to see a president actually doing that work and surrounded by people who understand the assignment and are contributing all day, every day to its realization. Right.
Like
so much to, go ahead.
The insecurity in the country has become so common now,
right,
that it's not a new thing for you to.
And I hope we're not normalizing it.
It is becoming a normalcy in this country, I think, because it's yesterday I was down, so I had to be around family, and when the news came up, 33 abducted, then my little nephew just came, oh, insecurity again. There's no news today.
Right. But those are real people, real lives, not numbers.
No, not numbers. You know, a man came on social media and said how his wife and son were abducted. So the kidnappers called him, and immediately he went and they demanded for some amount of money. They were even negotiating, they were talking. They said, look, we don't usually call people until after a week.
You're lucky.
But there's something about you that we have to call
you're
you after
just
3
different.
days, you know? So he said, okay, he should provide this amount of money, and he decided to go to the police. Now he went to the police and he was ranting and telling them, and the first thing the police did was put him in jail. He's shouting. And he said,
so he has to be detained for shouting.
He was detained, you know, and he refused it. And later on, they came and they apologized and they told him, do you know, the best we can do is just pay them the money, then we'll trace it. He said, but you people trace this call. You know where they are, because I'm seeing it on Google Maps. You know where these people are. Why don't you just go there? That the man said, the police just told him, just pay, we go and get them. So it's becoming normal in this country for you to wake up in the morning and you just, okay, 3 people have been killed. Oh, the same news, and it's not supposed to be sane.
Right.
You know, it's crazy.
It is.
The craziness is becoming normal. So are we all crazy? It's so sad.
Well, it's interesting. What more can we say? The fact of the matter is, when you look at the numbers in terms of what Nigerians pay just to ensure that they secure the release of their loved ones once they're abducted, it's mind-boggling, and it just raises the question of, are we really committed to this process of ensuring that insecurity in our country, to a very large extent, becomes a thing of the past as quickly as possible? That question is begging for an answer today and the days ahead. We're taking a quick break, everyone. When we return, we'll turn to big headlines from across Nigerian dailies this morning. Please stay with us.
You can watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
You can watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
You can watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
You can watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat.
Thanks for staying with us on this segment of the Morning Call here on Skyline News. Let's turn to the papers for you. The first we have is the Punch newspaper, excuse me. We'll begin from the top. A man who was once embattled even as a state governor, Fubara here. It says Fubara lawmakers battle as Stores Rivers 1.85 trillion naira budget. One would have thought that's a thing of the past now, given the intervention by the president and the fact that we hear time and again that he has now reconciled with his estranged political godfather, Nyesom Wike, Minister of the FCT. But it looks like the governor and his boss, they are not out of the woods yet, right? We'll move on. No difference worth breaking Nigeria apart. That's the president himself talking. At this point, I'm sure many people will say, Mr. President, you've got to lead by example in this regard. Passengers stranded as unions ground Air Peace flights. We brought you that story, by the way, yesterday. We understand it was an issue that had to do with union, but then the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, says it has now been resolved, reassuring the flying public that there's no cause for alarm. Everything is under control. You know, one time somebody jokingly said, there's no cause for control. Everything's under alarm. They say it was a slip of tongue. But that's the assurance coming from the NCAA, all right? The big one here has a kicker that reads Osun election. 10 battleground local governments that may decide Adeleke Oyebamiji race. 3 riders here highlighting some of those concerns that are likely going to be very visible in the next 48 hours or so. You know, in the US, they also have their own kind of battlegrounds. They have the swing states and so on and so forth. But Osun is an acid test on all fronts, as we can see already. Okay, a few more to go. 224 dead, 700 injured as powerful earthquake rocks Colombia. Quite a sad story there coming from South America. Bottom left, police plan fresh security roadmap ahead of 2027 polls. Whatever the roadmap may be, whatever the road leads, please, Nigerians just have to be able to sleep with 2 eyes closed again. 10 cops, 2 civilians killed, 17 bandits neutralized in KB. And then lastly, modular refineries shun domestic crude over high cost. You'll find those details on page 20 on the business section of the Punch newspaper today. Please do read up details for yourself. Let's turn now to this day newspaper.
This day newspaper at the top headline says Tinubu OK's fresh deep offshore framework to unlock $50 billion investment. That's in the business in this day business section. You can read more of that in page 8 of the This Day newspaper. The major headlines read at Arise Town Hall, Adeleke Oyebamiji Salam unveiled plans for Osun State. Everyone is giving out their plans,
putting their best foot forward.
Adeleke says, I fixed roads neglected for 45 years, recruited over 1,500 Amotekun staff. The second one, APC's Oyebamiji pledges to revamp agriculture, education, health. ADC, we have ADC candidate to restore Awolowo's legacy, provide 20,000 youth jobs in 100 days. Well, these are the promises that they've been making to the citizens in Osun State. Now you can read more of that. Now Danny said, Dotun Adekunle at OP Technology remains our engine for driving financial inclusion across Africa. So you can read more of all this in This Day newspaper today. As we go to the next newspaper, The Vanguard.
Well, on the left side of my head, I feel we should start out the Vanguard by looking first off at the big story. Again, it has to do with Osun State election. It says Osun decides. Candidates talk tough, unveil plans for state. I am a bulldozer, not afraid of federal might. APC governors, as the governor Adeleke himself, reassuring the people, and of course everyone who is careful enough to listen. That look, again, no cause for alarm, right? Oyebamiji downplays federal might, vows to banish poverty. Will build on past governors' achievements. Salam of the ADC is the one talking. Controversy over Senator Fadahunsin's comments. You find those very disturbing details. Yes, I used that word advisedly. Very disturbing detail you find on page 13. In the meantime, the Star headline has its details on page 8. And then we'll move it a notch higher to the very top above the name mast here. It says, federal government backs regional petrol pricing benchmark for West Africa on page 22. Then top right, 2027. Atiku raises concern over outdated beavers. I mean, did I hear that right? Outdated? Is the software outdated? Can it not be updated? How is it that a politician, the person of Atiku Abubakar, knows that, and INEC has not said a word to us about it? If there's any truth in that, we should be very concerned, all right? 5% TSC, passengers stranded as unions protest grounds flights in Lagos and Abuja. It was quite hectic for air travelers yesterday. People were stuck in Lagos and over here in Abuja as well. Infrastructure terrorism, how scavengers wreak havoc on public facilities. on page 2. Lagos has had its own fair share, perhaps a little more than that, in this regard. We have to deal with this. This is another threat that has been very gradually but steadily becoming of concern. They say it's insidious. That means you don't see it coming, but the impact will bite real hard. All right. And then what's more do we have here? It says incitement. Can PFN NHRC Kwankwaso knock Sheikh Jengera over those very nasty comments that he made regarding unity as a country. And then you have the writers here. NHRC asks federal government to arrest, prosecute Sheikh Jengera for hate speech. Our political choice, not threat, religious division is, that's according to the Christian Association of Nigeria. Government should be hard on religious extremists, that's PFN. Divisive statements must be dealt with, that's the vice presidential candidate of the NDC there, a former governor of Kano State, Kwankwaso, also reacting to this very news. All right, what more do we have? Reform. Tinubu projects $50 billion revenue to unlock offshore investments on page 30 of the Vanguard. And then, of course, you have your regular columns to read, including Serki, Fashion, and Dear Bumi. Please read up details on the Vanguard newspaper for yourself this morning. Up next is a bit of business. We'll follow the money now.
And the business there at the top there says, Osun's revenue windfall becomes battleground in governorship race. It should. It should. You know, the second one says, ghost estates leave buyers with trapped cash. Wow. You read that at page...
So you buy the estates and then you lock it all up. No occupants, no business going on.
No business going on. That's on page 31. If you want to know more of where that is coming from. Airlines count cost of strike as unions suspend air blockade. It has been reported in many newspapers now. It's no longer a problem. Hopefully it will not arise again. Then major headline here says, Nigeria rewrites deep water rules in race to lure $50 billion oil capital. Okay, so wish us good luck in that. Now it says at the end there, slower inflation marks Nigeria's lost purchasing power. Yes, purchasing power is actually low right now. So, okay, we pray that I always say prayer works, that the investment here works for us to slow down the inflation in the country.
Right.
Now move to the next, the Daily Times.
All right, the Daily Times, there's a story, more like a developing story that has been on for a while now on the Daily Times newspaper. It says, Ori abduction or your government hands for evidence as DSS frees suspect. You understand that the Department of State Service not only freed the gentleman, they also compensated him. That story has been very big this current week. Well, on the top right end of it, it has a picture of the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Dr. Layemi Cardoso. It says CBN opens regulatory door to virtual assets, data-driven finance. That sounds futuristic, as well as cutting edge. Then the big one tells us 12 years of APC brought Osun nothing but pain. That's the incumbent governor, Ademola Jackson Adeleke, there talking with one writer accompanying that headline. Defense record on salaries, roads, dismisses Oyinlola endorsement as paperweight politics. Right? I mean, politicians are very smart with words. Senate gives Seplat 3 other oil firms 48 hours to answer queries on NATI report. That's with regards to the oil and gas sector, right? And then lastly, on the foot of the front page, it says, Obi decries erosion of judicial independence, electoral credibility. One of the things Peter Obi is also demanding that the government and indeed the institutions should do is to ensure that we don't feed candidates whose backgrounds, whose qualifications are questionable. All right. No more question marks if we were to rephrase that. All right. So let's turn to the Daily Trust now, and Morano will walk us through the headlines.
The Daily Trust on my right here. Osun governorship CEOs, CSOs condemn Senator Fadahunsi's call for violence. I think that has been rectified now. He says that was not what he meant.
Again, he was quoted out of context. Somebody put a spin on it.
even though we heard it. So, you know, the next is Sokoto, Kaduna, Adamawa, 10 others to experience flood in August by NIMET. So governors in this area should be careful and take proper
precaution.
Yes, to prevent that. Nigeria's democracy needs review of Obasanjo and Jonathan. These are our past leaders, and this is what they have recommended. So now the major headline here says losses, disruptions as labor unions ground flights. They grounded the flights, but as of this morning, NAAC said everything is...
Yes, exactly.
Is
That's
okay.
normalcy has been restored.
Normalcy has been restored, but they should also, you know, bring out a solution so that this doesn't happen again.
Yeah, how do you forestall a recurrence?
So they didn't get passengers stranded again. Now down here it says APC, ADC, NDC, others upload candidates as INEC Shots portal. I think INEC last week gave them a deadline, so everyone is rushing.
Right.
Now, federal government to rehabilitate 417 grazing reserves. These grazing reserves have been on for a long time. It's since the federal government is completing on them now. Governments to pay workers disengaged 20 years ago. It's good news for them.
Right.
Finally, if some of them are not late already. Tinubu Sultan asks Nigerians to unite against insecurity. There's a very good message, especially at times like this.
Right.
Next, we move to the Daily Sun.
Incidentally, that's where we are docking this morning with regards to the headlines from our national newspapers. So we look at the top right corner. It says Oshun Adeleke demands arrest of Father Onsi over kill them call. Two riders with it alleges plots to arrest accord leaders. I mean, kill them with votes, as according to the senator. So we've got to put this on record. That's what I meant. Kill them with votes. Was not in any way advocating violence. Atiku raises concern over outdated Beavers IRF, and these are very critical facilities for the conduct of elections by INEC. Obasanjo, Jonathan Obi expressed worry over states of democracy. Former president says excessive judicial intervention in political affairs worrisome. Of course, that much is very evident. As we go further down, 4 more headlines for you. ASU orders state varsities to prepare for strike over non-implementation of demands. Affected branches, directed to issue 14-day ultimatum to governors. We saw that some of these state universities are already doing that with regards to a 2025 agreement that they reached with their respective state governments. Sultan APC chair cleric warned against religious division as ADC condemns Jingere. What's more, safe schools, federal government to strengthen security in vulnerable communities with man-o-war volunteers. Yeah, I remember that uniform, man-o-war, right? My mom and I had it, we both had it very tough because I wanted to join man-o-war and she wasn't really in support of that. She wanted me to join something else, but it's great. Right. So let's look at the last one for you from the Daily Sun newspaper still. It says 2027 ADC unveils governance code, vows to play different. Politics, well, I think Nigerians and indeed the voting public will be the judge in this regard. And it turns out that's all the papers and headlines we have for you this morning. As is always the tradition here, we encourage you to read up details for yourself, and more importantly, to remind you that Skyline News does not in any way contribute to these headlines. All we do for you is present them exactly as published by their respective publishers. Up next is sports updates, and behind that, we'll bring you very engaging conversation as regarding the state of our nation.
Watch Skyline News on Nicomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
You can watch Skyline News on Nicomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Watch Skyline News on Nicomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
You can watch Skyline News on Nicomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Watch Skyline News on Nicomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
You can watch Sky News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Watch Skyline News on MyComsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
You can watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Watch Skyline News on MyComsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Good morning and welcome to Kickoff on Good Morning Show. Today we discuss about the NFF apology to the President and the Nigerian public, and also the saga with Paul Pogba, transfer rumor of Julian Alvarez and Daniel Ruggeri. Now let's talk about the NFF. With me joining is Mr. Austin.
Welcome. Thank you for inviting me to the show.
Mr. Austin, you know, the NFF has issues with losing games these days, and we have the loss of the WAFCON, the lack of winnings in the under 20, under 15, and many more. What can you say much about that? Because now we are getting apologies from the NFF, apologizing for lack of qualification for the World Cup for the WAF, for the ladies.
Thank you very much for that question. And actually, you know, it is not the fault of the players. It is the fault of the NFF. Now they're apologizing to the president and Nigerians. Why? You know, there's a foul play in the NFF. Serious foul play. Now you are bringing these girls or these boys to play for you. You know, you are supposed to equip them. You get? They are not just there for the play. The NFF are not there for the play. The NFF are there for just the money, the big money. You know, these boys qualify for the World Cup, or the WAFCON qualify for World Cup, the Super Falcons qualify for World Cup. There's this big amount of money. And then you are bringing these people. Now you are apologizing that, oh, Mr. President, we are sorry. Nigerians, we are sorry. We apologize for. Who are you apologizing for? They are not supposed to apologize. They're supposed, I'll keep saying this. They're supposed to just sack NFF, like from the sweeper, the cleaner, down to the head, NFF president. It is their fault. You get? Now you are bringing a coach. Coach Justin is a very good man. He's a very good coach. You get? He's a very good coach. I think these guys did very well. The WAFCON on the 2026 going on now. The Super Falcons did very well. But the problem is from the coach and also the NFF. And also look at our under 20, WAFCON under 20B. The same thing. We could not even qualify. We were defeated by Burkina Faso 4-1 on the 20, WAFCON on the 20B. And now NFF is, why are they apologizing? It is of no use. The apology will not even do anything. They are saying they are very sorry, telling Mr. President. When these people are there, Which of the NFF representatives went to this Morocco to go and visit these girls? Check out other countries. You see Morocco play, yes, they are hosts. Okay, let's go back to Senegal. You see top FA from other countries. They'll go to that place and then encourage these girls. They'll give them morale. But our own NFF, they'll just sit down in glass house and then make a phone call. Now the girls are not doing well and they are apologizing for what? For Nigerians to do what? Or for Mr. President to what? Sack the girls? No, they've done well. The problem is from the NFF. The problem is from the NFF. That I know that is a very good thing they're apologizing to us. Yes, they've agreed that they've done wrong. So they're apologizing. But the problem is still NFF, not the players.
You're saying the problem is from the NFF, but previously people were discussing about the lack of commitment from the players. They also all dance all the time. They dance, they go on TikTok, doing everything. And now you're saying it's from the NFF. Why are you saying that?
Yes, that one is real. Even myself, I actually scolded some of the players after our qualification to the quarterfinal. All they could do is to dance Alingo, dance social medias. You get social medias, all of them. You just see them with phone dancing. They're supposed to bring themselves together, and then we have bigger game. We have big game to play with the Cameroonians. These guys are fire. So they are supposed to just calm down with the coach and the board management, the crew, technical crew, and then talk about the Cameroonian game. But all they could do is to dance. Azonto, old Azonto by Whiskey. They brought it back. Dancing Azonto, it's not called for. As a player, that's why I still key to Messi. Messi is a very great player. Ronaldo is a very great. Just watch the Moroccans, the host. After their match, when they qualified they did not dance. All they could do is to train. Their coach is a very disciplined man. But ours allow them. What are they dancing for? Social media, posting anyhow. This, what's this girl's name? Is it Esther? Yes. I respect Esther very well. After the match, her short knicker, that's jersey. You could see how she just did some kind of funny title, and she was dancing. I was like, no, this is not supposed to come now. They're supposed to be talking about their next match against Cameroon, not this dance. But it's a very good thing. We won, and they are supposed to dance according to them. Yes, it's a very good thing. I actually played basketball when we qualified for semi-final. Something happened. I would say, and we did not win the finals because I was very angry with my coach. We represented Zamfara State, then Sharia. You know how Zamfara is. Sharia State then. Now we went with the girls, basketball team girls and basketball boys. Now Kano went to Kano to play. Our first game, they refused to release the girls. Do you get? Second game, they refused to release the girls. We played the first game, we won Katsina. We played second game, we won Jigawa. They refused to release our girls. Then we played the third game. We won 76-70. I will never forget that scores. We qualified for the semi-finals. That was the night our coach decided to release our girls. Why? And I told him, I said, you are not supposed to release this girl now. If you release these girls now, the players will get distracted. And that was what happened. And I told them, I said, after each game, we normally pray. The Muslim will pray, the Christian will pray. But the semi-finals, they now released our guests for us that, okay, we can just know. And those players refused to pray. We played semi-final and we lost. Distraction.
You call them a sweeper and the NFF. Do you think that is the solution?
Yes.
You think that is the solution? What if other people came and have the same problem?
The problem with Nigeria, if they want to select NFF president, they are not going for the real person. You are selecting somebody or just bring politics. And then they are bringing Ibrahim Gusso. Yes, Ibrahim Gusso is a good person. If you check out Ibrahim Gusso's record, you understand what I'm saying. You want to bring NFF president, you want to bring somebody that will present Nigerian football, somebody that will govern Nigerian football. Bring somebody that have this experience. Don't just go and get somebody from one parastatal and then bring the person straight to, no. It is not about who know who. That's Nigeria. Nigeria is who know who. So if you are continue to bring people that doesn't know much about sport. And the problem is, if they want to bring those people that know more about sport, those people that have the technical know-how, they will not allow them. We have Okocha. Okocha is retired now. We have Kanu Wanko. We have likes of Omakachi. We have likes of name them, bring them, let them come and represent us. Let them be the NFF president and see what will happen.
Well, now let's talk about Paul Pogba. Enough of the NFF. We have a lot of loss. It was a tragic moment. Now let's talk about Paul Pogba saga. Well, let's talk about Paul Pogba a bit. The contract termination.
All right. Pogba is a very good player. I love Pogba, but Pogba is a very good player. Now he was signed to Monaco, and everybody actually waited to see what Pogba is going to do. Even myself, when he was signed, I was very happy. I was his big fan. I love Pogba. His style of playing, he's playing this boy who carries people along. You want to watch Pogba. You want to watch him play. Now, when he was signed to Monaco, injuries. And there is no how they will keep him, because football is a showbiz. Football is a business. Do you get? Keeping Pogba, big name like Pogba, they just have to sell him. And they've told him already before now that September 1st, they are going to terminate his contract. And it's a very good thing. Pogba, it just depends on Pogba and the team now. It's nothing. Pogba should just leave and then go and nurture his injuries. It's going to help him more.
All right then. Well, this brings us to the end of the kickoff for the morning show. Now let me link you up with the Good Morning Show program proper. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.
Watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
You can watch Sky News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Well, thank you for staying with us, everyone. Let's get interactive at this point in time. However, it is safe to say that Nigeria and indeed Nigerians are grappling with so much, whether you're talking about the economy or the politics of this country, especially with tension building up towards the 2027 general election cycle. In the meantime, Osun State is big on our conversation this morning for apparent reasons. So the gubernatorial election in that state is going to be in barely 72 hours. Meanwhile, so much is coming out of that state in terms of the narratives that politicians and by extension their political parties are pushing. And then we turn to the economy. While on the one hand, we're hearing from the government of the day and indeed the president's handlers that, look, we are no longer where we used to be, even though we are not exactly where we ought to be just yet. The point they're making is to say that, look, this country had been in a far worse shape in terms of its economic standing. However, on account of the intervention, the reforms introduced by the Tinubu-led government today, Nigeria may not be out of the wood altogether, but it's in a far better place, far better repositioned than anyone could have expected. Furthermore, the president and indeed the government are saying that, look, we've saved so much, several trillions, on account of suspending subsidy payments, and we are pushing down these funds to the sub-nationals. Therefore, you can't keep running to Abuja every time you need toothpaste or toothpick. Hold your governors accountable. They have more money now, again, on the strength of increased monthly allocations. Apparently, it's on the strength of that, if you like, claim that the executive chairman of the Nigeria Revenue Service, Dr. Zaccheaus Adedeji, has said that, look, President Bola Tinubu has done well by Nigerians. And therefore, two things must happen going forward. First is to applaud the Tinubu-led government, and second, to expect more, especially given that the president himself is on the ballot in 2027. How do we make sense of all of this in the first instance? And this morning we're joined by High Chief Chibuna Ubawike. He's a frontline member of the ruling All Progressives Congress APC. He also doubles as one of those who are championing grassroots leadership for the president and indeed for the APC. Chief, it's a pleasure to have you in the program this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Great. I think we should begin with the economy because I have a friend who says it is what you have in your stomach that determines how your brain functions. Your government is saying that, look, Nigeria may not be the best economy on the African continent just yet, but we need to applaud President Tinubu for the interventions that he has introduced, whether you're talking about fiscal policy, monetary policy, you're talking about food sufficiency and so on and so forth. They talk about issues around attracting foreign direct investment and so on and so forth. But one would have thought that the basic benchmark to do the measurement is to look at the quality of life of the everyday Nigerian.
Thank you for your observations and re-echoing what is obvious, that our economy has left where it used to be and is on an upward trajectory progressively. And yes, every internationally acclaimed economic body, both institutions as well, have applauded Nigeria's economic trajectory under the President Bola Tinubu's leadership, unlike what it used to be. And then acclaimed economists all over the world, they have also applauded President Bola Tinubu's economic policies, that it is in the right direction. And we have seen the indices. I don't want to begin to recap what the chairman of the Nigeria Revenue Service, said a few days ago. Everything points to the fact that we are making progress. Yes, we are not where we used to be, but we have not gotten to where we're supposed to be. It is the right step in the right direction. All we need is to support Mr. President to continue, on his trajectory, to consolidate on what he has started, so that in the few years to come, we will begin to enjoy the fuller benefit of these, economic reforms. Now, you do not measure the level of economic growth by using the microeconomic indices. You first stabilize the macro indices before coming to the micro. I mean, what comes to the local individuals and whatever. It is the national economic progress that determines how it affects the, micro economic, indices. So as we are progressing, you will see that things will begin to ease out. It has started to ease out. Governors are receiving more money. You see that pensioners are receiving more money. Salaries are being increased. We have a stable exchange rate. Just keep naming it. In the health sector, there is a lot of investment. In infrastructure, there is a lot of investment. In education, there is a lot of investment. In agriculture, in livestock, in aviation, in solid minerals, just name it. There are a lot of investments. Who are beneficiaries of those investments? Nigerians. When you mobilize a contractor to site, he will, employ more hands to do the job. They are benefiting from the economic, policy of Mr. President. Salaries are increased. When the employee receives his salary, the people benefit from it. Like recently, the salaries of the members of the armed forces was increased. Look at how their salary was. The least paid person in the military. Look at how much he was receiving before. 40-something thousand. Now 100,000. Then from next month they'll be receiving 180,000. The least paid person in the military. It is a progress. And when you receive that more money, you see it affects the family and those dependent on the person positively. You go to the markets. I said in one of my TV appearances in one of the stations that it is not that things are not easing out, but the exploitation tendency of some Nigerians is what is causing some problems we are seeing, maybe as per hardship, the way it is. Things are easing out seriously, but some of those in business are predators. Prices are supposed to come down. They will tell you things are hard. It is how the economy, they inflate the prices. I give given instances. Look at I gave instance of the petroleum sector, the petroleum marketers.
Right.
When before the Iran-Israeli-US war started, the petrol was about 900 naira per liter. Now, when that war started, everybody saw what happened. The crude prices increased. Right. So invariably, the marketers must increase their prices, to recover their, investment and make profit. We understood them. But when the price crashed to about $70 per barrel, because the price increased to about $110 per barrel, they increased their prices. When the prices dropped to about $70 per barrel, they refused to bring down their prices. When government asked them, why are you doing this? Inflicting pains on Nigerians. The civil government wants to enforce that the new price regime, that they will shut down their stations. Will government go all out to, enforce the price? No, we are operating a deregulated petroleum industry. So what government needs to do is to engage them more and more to see this is why they should do what? Bring down their prices. So some Nigerians are interested in inflicting pains on Nigerians, hiding under there is hardship. No. You go to the markets, you buy something here now, 1 naira, you go to the next bus stop, you get it 10 naira.
But again, does that not leave a blowback on the government? Because one would have thought that you have some sort of mechanism for regulating prices. You may not be able to, as it were, put out the flat out order, something like a fiat, but there should be such that there's a threshold where people can just wake up sporadically and start shooting up prices.
We are running a deregulated price system.
Free market system.
Free market system. So you do not fix prices. If it were to be a regulated system, you fix prices.
So even a free market can not cap the prices?
Wait, you can't cap the prices. You cannot. That is why it is a free market. But what happens is, let the consciences of those profiteers prick them. Because some Nigerians are interested in profiteering from the blood of Nigerians. That is the problem we are facing. Look at the transport sector. There is the CNG, provision for CNG and the electric vehicles. And then the vehicles using PMS and AGO. Why will a CNG operator charge the same fare with someone using PMS and AGO? Why? Meanwhile, CNG is cheaper. The piece we are supplied to you by government free of charge. So why will you charge the same fare? It is the same profiteering tendency of some Nigerian businessmen. That is why we are seeing what we are seeing. But in terms of whether government has done a lot to impact positively on the lives of Nigerians, yes is the answer. The benefits of economic reforms has started trickling down. But we'll get the fuller benefits as we progress in the course of the years.
It's quite interesting. I'm asking this question because whether you like it or not, there are people who say, look, no matter what President Bola Tinubu is trying to do right now, it's more like a knee-jerk reaction on the one hand. Others say, well, the president has his eye on 2027. So he's trying to, as it were, pacify Nigerians, especially the voting public. But whatever the intention may be, are these not all short-lived interventions? Are they sustainable? Are they going to be for the long term?
If you watch, if Mr. President was, concerned about winning his re-election, he would not go all out to embark on structural reforms because he knows that the citizens will suffer. It will bring pains at the beginning. No president that is more interested in winning the election will embark on structural reforms like Mr. President has done. That was why successive administration refused to go this route.
They wanted to be politically correct.
Thank you very much. So they want to do things people will be happy with. But meanwhile, what Nigeria will suffer for. And we have undergone that suffering over the years. Mr. President came and said, no, if we continue on this route, there will be no Nigeria tomorrow. Let us fix this thing now so that tomorrow there will be Nigeria and people will enjoy. So it's not because he wants to return in 2027. No is the answer. What he's doing is what's supposed to have been done before. So he has the political will and the testicular fortitude to carry on these reforms. That is what he is doing. And Nigeria is better for it now and will be the best for it in the course of the years.
There are concerns that are being expressed by a section of Nigerians. One of them is to say that, look, President Bola Tinubu and indeed the APC governments are not doing anything spectacular because they say we have borrowed so much under this government in the last 3 years and counting. On the other hand, they say, well, are we not borrowing to pay? Is it not Nigerians that are going to pay these debts? In any case, ultimately, the president is not borrowing in his name, neither is he borrowing in the name of his party. He's borrowing on behalf of the country. Therefore, it's almost like a case of one step forward, 4 steps backward.
Anybody that says Mr. President Bola Tinubu has not done anything spectacular to be applauded,
given the volume of borrowing,
I am coming, is not telling himself the truth. Now, given the level of borrowing, you now ask, have we not been borrowing before? What were those funds used for? Can we see the thing that we are used for?
But again, for 8 years before him, it was also that the APC.
I'm coming. It's not, the borrowing has been on before the APC government came on board. The borrowing has been on. Let me cite an instance. In 2008, Nigeria borrowed Eurobond, $500 million in 2008. It matured in 2018. It was President Buhari that paid it. They borrowed another one in 2011. It was in 2022. No, 2013. In 2023, President. In 2022, it matured. It was President Buhari that paid it. What were those funds used for? $1.5 billion altogether. I don't know whether you get me. What I'm trying to say that we have been borrowing. But the difference between the borrowing of President Bola Tinubu and previous borrowings is that they are tied to projects we can see. Look at all the projects being undertaken all over the Federation. High capital projects, spectacular projects everywhere. And they are going on simultaneously. And I assure you, there will not be any abandoned project. There will not be abandoned till in the life. All of them will be completed in the lifespan of this administration before we end 2031. So the borrowings Mr. President has embarked on are tied to projects. They are for development. There is nothing wrong in borrowing, but borrowing to do what? Are you borrowing for consumption or borrowing for capital development that will attract stimulate economic growth? That is the difference. America today is owing about $32 trillion or thereabout. The highest international in the world. China is about $16 trillion. Just name it. So why are we comparing?
But is that comparison, is it very, if you like, is it valid? Because, I mean, California as a state alone is, I mean, in terms of GDP, is richer than the whole of Africa of 54 countries.
Yes.
So what we say for America, they have the financial muscle, they have the resources. Well, can we go that route?
What is their debt to GDP ratio? Nigeria's debt to GDP ratio is quite minimal, even in Africa. About 30% or thereabout. South Africa has over 50 or 80% or thereabout. Egypt the same. America, there is over 200 or 300% and thereabout. What I'm trying to explain is this. our borrowing now is still within the threshold, manageable threshold.
So we're not exposed yet.
We are not exposed. And the borrowings Mr. President has done are tied to capital projects, and we are seeing those projects. They are for economic development.
I want us to talk about
those for consumption.
Yes, Chief. I think it's good. I mean, very timely that you highlighted that. Let's talk about some of those projects. The Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway, for example, has put Engineer David Umahi, Minister of Works, in the eye of the storm for a while now. It has also generated controversies that has had its own impact on the APC government and indeed the president. There are people who believe that, look, that project, it didn't undergo the standard approval procedure. For example, they said that there was no parliamentary, if you like, review of the funding process and so on and so forth. Was it a case of the end justifies the means?
No, let me answer you this way. When you have a malignant cancer, it requires a drastic surgery. That project was not conceived by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It has been there over the years. But none of the successive administrations had the political will to embark on those projects, especially when in the years we said we were living in affluence. They claimed we were living in affluence. They had their funds. Why couldn't they do those projects? Because those projects are economic projects, economic corridor opening projects. Imagine the economic benefit that will come in to Nigeria, open up those places. Let's use the Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway, for instance.
Right.
Imagine the level of development that will come from that angle when that road project is completed. People are not looking at it. But let us come to the costing and whatever. Have you gone through the terrain, the topography of the soil of that place? At times, the contractor will excavate 20 meters depth, removing the topsoil, fill it back with base stones and everything. It costs much to construct roads like that. So if anybody is talking about the cost, go there, the person should go there and see the level of work that is being done. When you go there, see the level of work that is being done, you will appreciate the enormity of funds that is committed to that project.
Did the National Assembly have a chance to look at that, the whole proposal before the projects got rolled out? I think that's the concern that many Nigerians are having right now.
But my question is, was funds appropriated for projects like that? That's the question.
That particular project, for example, because like you mentioned, it's quite a gigantic.
There's what we call environment. You can carry this project, budget for this project and put for this one. If this one is more important, we disallow environment in budgeting and in appropriation. So anybody that is raising issue about that should go there, see the level of work that is done, and then whether it is proportionate to the amount that has been expended on that project. That is what should matter.
All right. We're going to take a quick break now. I'd like us to turn to politics very shortly. When we return, everyone will be turning to Osun State, where the politics are apparently very heated up right now. In the next, say 72 hours or less, things will be jumping up very politically in that state. What are the actors saying? How are the political parties themselves carrying on in light of these very pivotal electoral events that is scheduled to take place on the 15th of August, which is this next Saturday? We'll talk about security concerns. We'll also look at the rhetorics that are now driving up the tension in and beyond Osun State. All of that and more when we return. Please do stay with us. Well, thank you so very much for staying with us. Chief, I'd like us to look at Osun State, where your party is a vested interest right now. Your candidate, Bola Bamiji, has also been talking about what he intends to do for the state, the reason he should be voted as against the other candidates, including the incumbent governor. While all of that is going on, of course, it's natural that the president wants the APC to win, you want the APC to win, and of course, the APC wants to win, the candidate wants to win. But what would you say of the rhetorics that we're seeing coming out, whether it's from the governor, from other candidates, for example, then of course your own candidate now, Senator Faddaunsi, has, as they say, broken the last leg of the table?
Well, I am an APC stakeholder.
Right.
I am a member of the Tinubu Support Group media team. I am a founding member of APC. And I am the national chairman of all registered APC North-South Progressives, a support group of our party, one of the formidable support groups. We are interested in winning the election in a free and fair contest. I believe the utmost decider lies with the people of Osun State.
Right.
They are the ones to cast the votes. I am not voting in Osun. I am not from Osun State. So it's left for Osun State indigenous voters, the electorates, to vote, their choice. But my party is interested in winning. The onus lies, on Osun electorates to vote who they know or believe is the better candidate. I believe my party's candidate is the better candidate. So I appeal to Osun indigenous to vote for my candidate. Then, in terms of the statement allegedly made by Senator Francis Faddaunsi, if actually it is true he made such a statement, it is very, very unfortunate.
We'll say if actually it's true.
Yes,
have you seen the video?
I have seen the video, but I was not there with him. That's why I said if actually he made a statement. If I were with him, he made a statement, I would say he made a statement.
Okay, so you can't trust the video enough?
I have seen the video, but I will also say until it is proven he made a statement.
He said he did, but he was misinterpreted.
But if he said that, it is very, very unfortunate. That statement shouldn't have come from an elder statesman like him. Nigeria has given him a lot. So, and our party do not tolerate that. That is not the position of our party at all. Our party do not tolerate such statements. It is not part and parcel. It is not, our idiosyncrasy. We believe in a free and fair election. We believe in credible election. We believe in allowing the electorates to decide, by their vote, who they want to be their governor or to lead them. Not to making, such inflammatory statements as per killing somebody. No. The people you want to kill are your constituents. After the election, what happens? After the election is governance. If you kill those people, whom are you going to lead? So that statement, if actually he made it, is very, very unfortunate. It shouldn't have come from a person of his stature. And it does not emanate from my party. My party does not support that at all.
I want us to talk about your party again. We saw how that Oyetola had been a governor in that state. Of course, he lost his re-election bid, and which led to Governor Adeleke coming into office. And now your party is back on the ballot, even though he's a different candidate this time. There are people who strongly believe that Osun State is done with APC. It is either PDP or a different party altogether going forward, but certainly not the APC. Are you looking at the optics?
Well, people are free to say whatever they want to say based on their, it all are assumptions and permutations. But the deciding factor is in the ballot. Let us see what comes out on Saturday to know whether Osun State is APC or PDP or Accord Party. Saturday will decide. Not someone staying in the comfort of his room to conjecture. No, most of the people saying that do not live in Osun, they are not from Osun State, right? Except you are from Osun State, then you say you have gone through the electoral trajectory, you feel the pulse of the people, the Osun electorates to know their voting pattern. Let us watch what happens on Saturday. I believe my party, they've done enough in terms of mobilization and sensitization of the people to vote for our party. So, and I believe too, the incumbent governor is doing his best to mobilize and sensitize the people to vote him again. But let us see what happens on Saturday. the people of Osun State will decide, Osun electorates will decide whom they want to be their governor.
There's again, I want to use the word speculation in some quarters, and it's been there for a while. That look, Governor Ademola Adeleke had tried to defect to the APC at about that time when most governors were also defecting, but he had a peculiar case that the APC, for whatever reason or reasons, did not allow him to join the fold at that time. So in a last-minute move, he had to join the Accord Party, even though he had a few other options. For many people, what that signals is to say that, look, the APC already had an anointed candidate and was not interested in the incumbency of Mr. Adeleke. And they also believe that that singular factor in itself will be one of the deciders of this election. Is that your sentiment?
No, it is not. His Excellency Governor Ademola Adeleke has come out to say he never
made an attempt
to defect to APC, and that is what I take. Every other person is just every other saying is just an assumption and a speculation. The governor himself, who is the dramatic person, says, "I never approached APC to join APC," and that settles it.
You have already expressed optimism. I mean, you are very upbeat, same for your party, about carrying the day in Osun this weekend. But then there are some concerns the APC either is aware of or is just waving off with the left hand. One of them is to say that, first of all, Mr. Adeleke is the incumbent governor, and that power of incumbency gives him some competitive advantage. And then there's also the factor of Aregbesola, former governor of the state, two-term governor of the state, former minister of interior in this country, who is now a chieftain of the ADC and is a grassroots politician in that same state. And then, of course, the NDC is also, as it were, raking up a lot of dust with, again, the Obi factor, the Kwankwaso factor, and so on and so forth. Do you not think, Chief Bowie, that the APC is up against, in between the rock and the hard place?
I do not think like that, because it's an election. During an election like this, a lot of factors throw itself up. A lot of permutations come up.
Right.
People will say this, say that. The intention of any genuine contestant is to win.
That's right.
And every genuine contestant will do all he can to ensure he wins. But what I'm saying is that, and one person must win. And I pray it is my party's candidate that wins the election. The decider is Osun electorates, like I said. They are the ones to decide whether they are going to vote the candidate of my party, or they will vote the incumbent, or the candidate of other parties. So let us wait on Saturday and watch how the voting will go and what the result will be.
I want us to wrap up on this note. Yes, we'll spend the last 1 week here at Skyline News talking about 2027 and how that Osun State's governorship election is also more like a pointer in that direction. The sad part is we're hearing very disturbing rhetorics from very high-standing people in society. On the one hand, we're dealing with the issue of Sheikh Jengere regarding the election, regarding the Muslim ticket. On the other hand, we have a Senator Francis Wadawson, somewhere else in this country, also whether he realizes it or not, advocating violence. My questions would be, first of all, how does the APC intend to manage this do this damage control? Because it rubs off on your party, all right, on the one hand. On the other hand, how do we manage this beyond politics and politicking as a country to ensure that while we are politicking, while we're playing politics, we do not, as it were, touch on very sensitive nerves?
Thank you. Like I said before, both statements are unfortunate. They are condemnable, and they are not the positions of my party. They are not the positions of my party. They are not the positions of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led federal government of Nigeria. Those are individual statements by individuals. But both statements are condemnable. They are unfortunate. It shouldn't have come at all. Now, I read this morning that the police, they've invited Senator Francis Wadawson for questioning. And I also expect them to do the same to the Sheikh that made the other condemnable statement. They should invite them. They should not divide Nigeria along the religious lines. No. And the politicians, when we are, playing our politics, we should conduct ourselves, with the utmost decorum, so that we do not overheat the politics. After politics, life goes on. After elections, it is governance. If there is harm, whom are you going to govern? So let us make Nigeria a peaceful place for everybody to stay, irrespective of our partisan leaning. That is my own position. Those statements, no, they are unsavory, they are unfortunate, they are condemnable. The security agencies should invite the individuals that made those statements and find out from them why such should happen. And then, if there are sanctions or punishments for such, they should meet it out to them.
That's a wonderful place to leave it. I'd like to say a big thank you to you, Chief Ubawike, for coming to talk to us about all of these issues today. We're taking a break now. When we return, it will be time to bring the morning call to a close. Please do not go away. To draw the curtains at this point on the morning call here on Skyline News. Just to quickly recap that, look, whether we like it or not, we are first a people and a country before we are politicians.
Yes,
Aren't we?
Yes, we are. We should always remember that at the back of our heads.
Right.
So when we go out for the country, not for ourselves.
Well, that's Citizen Moreno advising you if I were you, I'll take it so seriously, right? Thank you so very much for taking us seriously on the morning call today by spending a chunk of your breakfast time with us. We do not take it for granted. I'm Uyi Agmofwegbe.
And I'm Moreno Haniel. Do have a very wonderful day today.